In the words of the great Kendrick Lamar, you people should know what time it is. He didn't say people. He said another word that I say sometimes, but I can't say on camera right now. I am your host, Big Hollywood, RobTV, and I am joined with none other than the uber famous, the moderately tall, but not that much taller than me, but the camera make it look worse, Brian F. What's up, Brian?
I'm chilling here. Glad you're handling that intro for me. Appreciate that for all the people out there. We're here to talk about some Street Fighter, though. Of course, it's all about the Street Fighter here. And we had an amazing CPT event. Central America West has concluded, and I feel like, in some ways, a chapter has come to a close because we have finally booked Kusanagi's ticket into Capcom Cup after years of watching him come second place, and so many qualifiers to make it into Capcom Cup in those final years of Street Fighter V. He has, in dominant fashion, booked his ticket to Capcom Cup, rocking the most offensive Ken that I have personally played against, because actually I play a lot with these guys in ranked from this tournament, and his offensive style has translated perfectly over to Street Fighter 6. Ken is the character for him, and he took it in dominant fashion. Looking at the brackets here, 6-0 over Todokai, and let's
6-0, bro.
3-0 winners finals, 3-0 in grand finals, and that is, top 17 Todokai from Evo. So Kusanagi, hats off to you. I feel like we finally found the perfect recipe to get him over the edge and finally compete at the biggest stage in the world in the Capcom Cup.
Yeah, bro. Kusanagi, we talked about mental stack last week, bro, and he is one of the kings of overloading his opponent's mental stack. That's like a huge part of his game plan. He stays on offensive, and he wants his opponent to have to react. So he is looking ridiculous in his anti-air game. I mean, everything. And
he keeps the pace extremely high, like we mentioned with the mental stack. Like, he is the most offensive Ken I've ever played, and to great effect. Like, he knows how to rush you down.
And Kusanagi, I feel like his playstyle was like that in 5. Of course, he was extremely aggressive, but it definitely seems that either through the game mechanics fit him even better, or just through him even get stronger as a player, he's able to he looks even more crisp. And I do think that this game,
it favors his style,
favors his playstyle.
Yeah, and let's keep it real. He was using Sakura in Street Fighter V for the most part. That's true. And Sakura was a strong character, but no one would argue she's top 5 by any means, right? And Sakura was a character that excelled at that aggressive play style. She had to go for a lot of throw resets and had to encroach on people's space in ways where it wasn't such a black and white situation. Like, yeah, you could jab check me to prevent me from approaching, but what if I press the button here and counter hit confirmed, etc., right? Playing very much on the fear of the offensive options that he had to keep always encroaching in your space. And Ken does the same thing in Street Fighter 6, but in general, the game is designed to be played at a faster pace, right? I think it's a little bit easier to stop that approach in Street Fighter 5, but Street Fighter 6, baby, we got Drive Rush, we got DI.
He was born in it. It's the whole you've adapted to the darkness. I was born in it.
Right. He was ready for this system.
Yeah, this is just, I've been putting myself in the scramble or in these dangerous situations. It's not like he went from playing this super slow-paced game to now he got to be aggressive.
Right.
So we're seeing him flourish, and I'm telling you, man, Todokai has been cooking. Like, you brought up what he did at Evo, and even in this tournament. He was absolutely phenomenal.
He was definitely cooking the competition. I want to bring up Todokai's Evo run just to give some context to the level of competition here. Looking up his bracket, he ended up dropping to losers in round 3 pools, which is, that's top 256 out of 7,000 already. So he already did some work to get there to Knuckle Do. 2-1, he lost to Knuckle Do. He goes in losers bracket to beat Shao Hai, beat Hot Dog 29, Valmaster, Kills You, Yanai, before finally being stopped by Momochi. So these are international killers that have won premieres, super premieres, World Warrior events, gone to Capcom Cup. Like, he was cooking these people with his phenomenal JP play, and it took Kusanagi, who I think is really well versed in the matchup, to shut him down. So hats off to Todokai for an amazing run as well. The other story here, though, that I want to bring up, 3rd place, Sol VNG.
Sol VNG fire, bro. He's so fire.
Yeah, if you haven't encountered his playstyle, he's another one of the people that I actually play pretty frequently. It's a different game when you run into Sol VNG because he is day one modern Luke, so he's not just playing it for the memes. He's not just doing it, just to say, hey, I'm going to play a little bit different for fun. No, this is his dedicated main, and Sol VNG Qualified for Capcom Cup in 2022 as well. Super strong player. As he didn't come into Street Fighter 6 brand new, picking up Modern. He switched to Modern and said, this is the effective way for me to play. And you can see it because the way he uses things like Luke's level 1, which is like almost a hit scan half screen fireball, and his non-OD DP, because it's a very fast move, comes out one button. Like, he just nullifies options that you wouldn't be able to nullify. Like, I don't think you can just pick up Modern and immediately do that, but that's what he has formulated his strategy around. He's practiced reacting to these situations. When I play him in ranked, for example, his main tool to stop drive rush is DP. Like, he doesn't bother. He'll be able to walk around and play neutral normally, not having to be buffering it preemptively. And then if he sees you turn green and fly at him, boo! No meter required. He just snipes you. Just forward punch if that's the input for Modern Luke, and then he interrupts you like that. So if you're interested in how Luke can be played at a high level with modern controls, I think it's very strong. I think Modern Luke is one of the strongest modern characters in the whole cast. Check out Soul VNG. So shout outs to you for shaking up the results there with a strong third place finish. But at the end of the day, it's classic Street Fighter 6 Kusanagi taking that first place. And I'm just telling you, the rushdown is the way. Look out for the meaty DIs. Look out for the jumps. Look out for the Dragon Lashes.
Ken is perfect, man.
He's coming.
Ken is really, and of course, Kusanagi is playing amazing. Everybody's playing top tier, so it's the FGC, so we got to be very careful, right? If you are a good player, you should be playing top tier. So if somebody talks about the characters, that's just what we do in the FGC, is no disrespect. So Kusanagi won because he is godlike. Now, Ken is perfect. That's a bad man. We need to have a day where we do a Ken and JP analysis. Like, because there's some interesting. There's always characters that people are targeted and stuff on the internet. Right now, JP is more hated, but yeah, Ken is definitely OD, and it's interesting to see that matchup. We just saw the same matchup at Gamers 8 with Angry Bird versus Kakadu. Kakadu came out on top there, and then here we saw, of course, my man's. Kusanagi came up on top over Grand Todokai. Maybe all he should have done is perfect parry 30 times and he would have won. I don't know why he didn't think of that, Brian.
Right, just be an absolute robot and machine and just perfect parry everything in a 2-frame window on reaction and just win every game, right? But that's the beauty of Street Fighter 6 as it is because you can have those moments, and I think everyone is striving to have those because we're all using parry and everyone is attempting perfect parries in a lot of situations all the time. But how hot are you that day? I think that adds so much excitement and levels to even yourself. Like, how sharp is my timing on this day? Before we used to be focused on like execution, earlier Street Fighter titles. How sharp is my execution that day? And that's shifted now to the defensive options, which I think really brings back that element of surprise and variety. Like, you can see a player play out of their own mind for their own level. Even on days where I perfect parry things, I'm like, wow, I have never perfect parried this many things in a row in my life. I am impressed with myself. Like, it allows those moments to happen. So yeah, Todokai, in another universe, he perfect parried every Dragon Lash, every fireball, and got the W. So maybe the next World Warrior events, maybe you can work on those perfect parry timings and take it through that means, because we haven't seen the last of Todokai, haven't seen the last of any of these competitors. They have a whole season of World Warriors left in them, and Kusanagi will be sitting pretty, twiddling his fingers, watching the competition, waiting to meet up with them again at Capcom Cup.
Kusanagi walks away with the CA West Championship. My man is representing his region at Capcom Cup. Man is trying to run up a milli or 400,000 or 200,000 or 100,000 or any all that bread that's up on the line. And of course, most importantly, my man building his brand up and all that and representing his region the right way. Who is going to be able to do that now, though? We've got North America West. We right here on our stomping grounds. You know what I'm saying? The trash talk get a little different over here. This is our first NA event that we've had of the year. And you know what, Brian? I'll put you on the spot. I'll give you my prediction first. Who is going to win this one? And you know what? I'm gonna put it all on the table. Chris Tatarian, okay?
Chris Tatarian is a good pick. That is such a good pick. He was unfortunately unable to compete at EVO. I thought he was going to go on a tear at EVO for sure.
I could have seen him top 6. He could have. I'm not saying
if he plays at his peak, I absolutely can see that. I think he's really consistent. So I think that's a good pick. But I honestly think Chris CCH. I think Chris CCH.
He hates JP too much, man.
No, but he hates him to the point where he's joined the dark side. He's used JP in grand finals and beat NuckleDoo in a tournament. to claim it. So I respect that so much. When a player hates a character enough to say,
that's fire.
To say, screw it, I'm playing them too. So he has both a JP and a Ken. He used both in that tournament bracket. So he only used JP to counterpick Knuckle Deuce Guile and win ICFC, one of the big NA weeklies, usually over 400 people. So, he's putting his money where his mouth is and say, hey, this is the tool to use. I'm using it. So he has a Ken and a JP. So he's a menace. So I'm going to say Chris DCH if you already picked Chris T. And then, of course, Dark Nef might make an appearance. Samurai might do it. This region is super stacked, and so we can predict which way it's going to go, but it's all about the day of who's going to play hot that day, who has the perfect parries down, who has the reactions to the DI, and who's going to get the job done.
We are about to see right now in A West top 16.